Hi, I'm Nikki with Starbright Floral Design, and today I'm going to be giving you some helpful tips on decorating your holiday tablescape. So we got all of our linens today from the Cloth Connection, and I'm going to start with this tablescape where we've got this brown tablecloth, and I've got a green napkin and some nice white and green plates as well. So I'm going to start by laying down some greenery. Imagine that I'm in the center of your table and this is a runner going down. So I have mixed winter greens, and I'm just going to start with the flattest ones and start to kind of build out the shape. And I'm going to mix together some of the different textures. I'm really just crisscrossing it, using a little bit of direction, seeing what looks nice here, tucking in some different textures, different colors, kind of having fun with it. And I'm gonna also include some of this brunia, which is this nice gray. It almost looks like ornaments. And this is just tying together with my color scheme that I have going here. So just layering, and playing with it. Some nice ruscus. Smells amazing, so that's a great part of your dinner plan as well. So that was quick and easy, and you can do that along an entire table. So now I'm gonna move to our plate. So I'm gonna center this. I have two different plates. I'm kind of using this white one as a charger and placing this one in the center. I'm gonna start by folding my napkin. So my napkin, provided by the Cloth Connection, has an outside and an inside. So the shiny side is the side that I want. So I'm gonna fold it in half, shiny side inside. I'm gonna crease it. I'm gonna fold it in half again. So I'm making this nice square, and the shiny side is all hidden inside. Then I'm gonna take this corner, I'm gonna fold it back so we can now see the shiny side. I'm gonna flip it over. Once I flip it over, I'm gonna fold it into thirds. And so this corner now has this little pocket. I'm gonna tuck this other corner into there. And now when I flip it over, I've got this nice pocket here, and it's on a diagonal. So I'm just gonna move this around a little, just zhuzh it a bit so that it looks really nice. Tuck in anything that, if your fold isn't perfect, no one will notice. So something else that I got are these little cookie cutters, and I thought this would be really nice as like a placeholder. You can tie someone's name on there so that they know where to sit. And just placing that on the plate and the napkin, I'm gonna do it kind of off-centered. And I'm gonna make a little napkin treatment out of some Christmas greens. So I'm gonna use a little bit of dried wheat, and I've got hypericum berries in this really nice dark red. So I'm gonna start by pulling the leaves off of the hypericum berries. So that's just the berries. And it's always nice to just have everything prepped and cleaned up. I'm gonna take my Christmas greens, I'm just gonna pull off some of the bottom so I have this nice stem. I'm gonna do the same with this one. I'm just ripping it off with my hands, nothing fancy here. So I've got a little bit of tape. You don't need tape if you can just use ribbon, but I'm just gonna use this little piece of tape to help me out a bit. I'm just gonna put that on the side. So now I'm gonna start building this in my hand. I want to do the wheat kind of as my background, and then I'm gonna layer some of the greens. I'm just building it in my hand so all the stems kind of crisscross, and that's where I'm gonna place the tape when it's done. And you can kind of make it lower, higher, whatever you think is gonna be the best look for you. So this has a lot going on, so I'm actually gonna take off these bottom berries as well. And just to finish it off, I think I'm gonna put these greens right in the front. So I've got this nice little look, move things around a bit. And now I'm gonna put my tape right where all the stems are crossing. So this is a fun activity to have your kids do. It's fun to do if you need a second to get out of the kitchen. Just personalize everyone's little tablescapes. And I'm just gonna cut these so they're all the same length. So now we've got this, and I'm just gonna clean up my mess. So now I picked this green ribbon. I just thought it matched nice. I like this kind of green, little touches of red color scheme that we've got going here. So I'm gonna take the ribbon, and you can tie it any way you want. You just wanna cover up the tape. So sometimes I'll twist it around a bit, or tying multiple knots can be really pretty. It's kind of like a boutonniere. And I always like to work with more ribbon rather than less. So for this one, I'm just gonna tie a knot in the back. And here we go. Cool. So I've got these nice long tails, and if you wanted to leave that, if that was part of your look, or you wanted to trim it, and I always like to cut ribbons on an angle to give it a nice finished look, but I'm just gonna cut these ones short for this one. All right, so I'm gonna place that right there. I just wanted to kind of balance with the cookie cutter that I've got. You could also tuck it into the napkin since we've got this napkin tuck. You could have your forks and knives tucked in the napkin and this coming out. Whatever you'd like. You can kind of play with it. You can do each one different. So I think that's my favorite look here. And then I have these little pine cones, so maybe a pine cone right there. And I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle some of them in here as well. They can be tucked in. You don't want them all facing the same direction. Just adds a lot of texture, something fun, something festive. So that's our first look. We've got the green, kind of a dark, sultry, brown. I love it. All right, so we're gonna move over to our next. And this one I've got more of a pink. It's almost this like Asian pattern. I love, this was my favorite tablecloth that we got from Cloth Connection. So I'm gonna do the same thing, lay out the greens. I'm gonna start with the flattest ones, my Christmas greens. And just kind of play with it a bit. If there's anything like super leggy, just rip it off. You don't wanna show any stems. Here we go. You can kind of tuck it in, weave them together, get some good height if you want them to be a little more 3D. Just filling it out, making it look nice and plentiful. And I've also got this white poinsettia. I'm just gonna tuck that in here. And that's just a nice little finishing touch. I've got a couple more of these pine cones to throw in here, sprinkle them around. I've also got these lady apples, which I thought were just cute. I like food on the table, you know, we're all gathered to eat. And same thing, you don't want them all facing up. You can have them facing kind of different directions. It doesn't have to be perfectly even, just a nice balance. So that's looking good here. So I'm gonna actually do a little dried arrangement for this one. I've got an extra apple. And you can buy lady apples at the store. So this one, I've got a plate and a bowl, and I put my little apple on it. And with this napkin, I'm gonna do it almost like a napkin ring, but I'm gonna use ribbon instead. So what I'm gonna do is kind of do a little triangle. I'm gonna grab it from the middle here and just kind of let it fall. And I'm just gonna use my hand to kind of pick where I'm gonna tie it. And now I've got this nice little, it was so simple, like really just a triangle, and then you lift it from the middle, and it looks really nice. So this is where I'm gonna place my ribbon. So I picked out this nice kind of silver sparkle ribbon, and I'm gonna fold it right here. I'm just gonna tie it in a simple knot. And I trim the ends of this, and the way that you get this nice little finished look, I just fold the ribbon in half and then cut it here. So I'll just snip it a little shorter so you can see. So I fold it in half and then hold the ribbon tight. And there you've got. And this ribbon also has some wire in it. So on the edges it has wire, and that just helps it hold in place. You can kind of get a little more shape there. You can play with it. So that's a nice look. So I'm gonna do a little dried arrangement, and I'm just gonna tuck it in here. So what we've got for this is a little bit of dried lavender, which is this nice purple. And I got a little bit of white. So I'm just gonna clean off everything on the bottom of the stem again. And the dried ones are cool because they'll last forever. And then I've got this little bunny tail. And I picked this hot pink to kind of go with the pink napkin we've got. So I'm just gonna do the same thing, play with it in my hand, see what I like. Something like that. And I'm gonna take my tape. And I'm just gonna tape it where they all crisscross. Get it nice and tight so everything stays right where I put it. There's a lot of tape. And then I'm just gonna snip this short. I'm just gonna tuck it in here. I'm gonna hide the tape. If you wanted to cover it in ribbon so that no one sees the tape when they take it out to unfold their napkin, that's totally understandable. And you can kind of just move the napkin around a bit. Some of the dried stuff will shed, especially the lavender, so make sure you pick off any little pieces. And ta-da, that's look number 2. All right, we're killing it. Okay, so we're gonna move over to our final look here. So I'm gonna do the same. You guys know the drill. We're gonna build out the greens. You're gonna be an expert at building out greens now. And it's so nice because it's really hardy. You don't need to have anything in water when it's just greens, especially just for a dinner, for an event. It's not a long-standing thing. And you can leave it on your table all week. You can leave it for days and invite people over. So I'm gonna do the same thing again, like start tucking it. And see, then it kind of stays where you put it. Nice, cool. I'm gonna put a couple pine cones again. We love the pine cones. All right, so this is a cool trick that Holly Chapel, who's a florist, posted a how-to video on Instagram. So be sure to check it out. But they're magnolia leaves, and I just glued it to this, it really is a ribbon circle. But you can do anything really, and I just glued the magnolia leaves all around with hot glue. You can kind of see it burnt it a bit, but the plate's gonna be on top of it, so it's okay. But if you want to use actual floral glue, then it wouldn't burn it. But hot glue works. So we've actually got this green side, and we also have the beautiful brown side. So that's something fun to play with too. You could do every other person has the brown or the green. So this is what the brown looks like, which is really nice and kind of rustic. But for this, I think I'm gonna do the green just to make it a little more lively. So flip it, here's the green. And for this napkin, I'm gonna do something very simple. I'm just gonna fold it into thirds. So I've got the nice square. I'm just gonna fold it into thirds. Very, very simple. I'm gonna fold it in half. And I'm gonna fold in half again. I'm just gonna make a very small rectangle. That's just gonna sit on the plate. Sometimes it's nice to put the napkin under the plate and have it hanging off the table. It's up to you. You can make it smaller, bigger. You really play with it. So I'm gonna do my tape first this time. And this time I've got berries, which I love these red ilex berries. I think it's such a great look for Christmas or any holiday really. It's a wintry look. So I'm gonna clean off the berries on the bottom. And I love just the look of branches. So see already, we're done. Kidding. So I've got this little eucalyptus and I'm gonna clean it up. And I'm gonna clean up these greens as well. Sometimes you can get more than one piece out of one stem. So I'm gonna cut this right here and maybe I'll use this other piece. So I'm gonna clean that up. A little more off. Same thing, we're just gonna build it in our hand. I'm just gonna, you can pinch it if it's like too, kinda make it do what you want. Let's flip it there until you're happy. There's no rush on any of this. You get to make exactly how you want it. All right, and I like that. I think we're looking good. I like using eucalyptus a lot. It's fun to have rosemary because, like I said, I like using food when we're doing a dinner thing. Rosemary could be fun to tuck in with your greens along the table as well. Just another great scented green. Magnolia, if you're gonna get magnolia already, throw some on the table, why not? All right, we've got it taped up. We're gonna do our little trim. Yet another cutie. And I'm gonna get some red ribbon for this one. Let's see, and I think I'm gonna tie a nice little bow. So I still wanna initially just cover up the tape. So I'm just wrapping it around a couple times. I really like working with extra ribbon. I don't want it to be too short and me not be able to tie a knot. It's a nightmare. So once I've got it wrapped up good, I'm gonna bring them both around the front. Tie my knot. And the way that I tie a bow is I make the little ear and I always come from underneath and then bring it up, and then you know that it's gonna be facing up. Like, you know when you have a bow and the ears are just going two crazy ways? You can kind of play with it. I really like making my stuff perfect. I want them to be the exact same size. I want them to be exactly where I want them. A bit of a perfectionist, I guess, but it's cute no matter what. So once again, this might be pretty with the tails. Kind of have it hanging off. Play with it a bit. Or you can cut it short. So that's kind of what it would look like long. And I'm just gonna take it, I'm gonna cut my little angle, and cut my other, and I like to make sure my angles are going the same way. This one can be a little shorter. Like I said, perfectionist. I don't expect this of you. I just want you to have fun. It's a fun thing for everyone to make their own too. It's nice. Or make them for each other. It's like Secret Santa. All right, so those are a couple different tablescape options, and I really want you to be able to have fun with it, play with some greens, put some fruit. If you want to incorporate ribbon in here, that would be fun. Berries, all of it. Fold your napkins. Do something fun and enjoy dinner with your family. Show everyone on your Zoom party if that's what you're doing. Maybe put some ornaments in there. It's a holiday, so have a little fun. All right. Thank you from Starbright. Happy holidays.